everyone. Today I am Isha Mishra. I am going to teach you force, work and energy. So let's get started. Force. We play a lot of games that involve pushing and pulling things. In the game of tug of war, both teams pull the rope to their side to win the game. When we push or pull something, we apply force. A push or pull acting on an object is called force. When you throw a ball towards your friend, you apply force to do it. Your friend also uses force to catch it. So we see that things do not move on their own. They only move when force is applied on them. You apply force when you pull a cord, you push a ball with your bat, you pull books from your bag. Pulls and pushes are forces. All our movements are the result of some kind of force. Now, for example, to show you muscular force, I am holding this book. So, it requires energy and force to pick it up. So, this is an example of muscular force. How do we know that a force is being applied? Have you ever seen clothes hanging on the rope moving? Who applies force on them to move? It is the wind that applies force on them to move in the direction of the wind. When a cloth is hanging on the line and wind is going in this direction, the clothes will also move in that direction. A ball lying on the ground does not move until some force is applied on it. Similarly, a book lying on the table cannot move on its own. What happens when force is applied on a moving body? Let's see. Take a plastic ball, push it gently on the floor. What did you do? You applied force on the ball to make it move. While it is moving, push it again in the same direction. Did it move faster? Now, when we play football, what do the players do? They kick the ball to get it in the goal. So they have to kick it plenty of times to get it in. So they kick the ball in the same direction many times. The ball moved faster because you had applied force in the direction of motion. Now try to stop this moving ball. What will you do to stop it? You will have to apply force on the ball in the direction opposite to its motion. Now, if you roll a ball on the ground and you have to stop it, then you will push it again but in the opposite direction. Thus, it will go slower or will stop. Thus, we see that if a moving object is pushed in the same direction of its motion, it moves faster, and if force is applied in the opposite direction of motion, the object slows down or stops. See, I told you. Force can move an object, stop or slow down an object, change the shape of an object, and change the speed of the direction of a moving body. Now, how we can change the shape of an object? Take some clay and when you mash it up, you are changing its shape. First, you make a square and then you make a triangle. You have changed its shape. You applied muscular force. Types of forces. There are different types of forces that do different types of work. Mainly, there are three types of forces, that is muscular force, gravitational force and frictional force. Muscular force. The force used by the muscles of the body is called muscular force. When you lift your school bag, you use muscular force. Humans and animals use muscular force to move things or to change their direction. Now, where do we use muscular force? We use muscular force, for example, squeezing a lemon, playing with clay and changing its shape. And where do animals use it? For example, take a bull or a horse. People attach carts on them, and when they move, the carts also move along. So that is where they use muscular force. For example, we use our muscles to squeeze a lemon. Horses use their muscles to pull a cart. Gravitational force. Now, gravitational force is just gravity. What happens in it? The force that comes out of the center of the earth pulls all the objects down. Like we are not floating in the space, in the air. We are standing on the floor, we are sitting on the bed. We are not floating anywhere. We are just on the ground. So that is all because of gravity. Try to throw a ball up in the air. It will come back to the ground. This happens because a force called gravity pulls all objects down. This is also called gravitational force. We are able to walk on the earth's surface because of gravitational force or gravity. If there was no gravity, we would have been floating in the air. This force also holds the atmosphere around the earth. Water bodies like seas, rivers, lakes, etc. do not spill out due to gravitational force. Gravitational force can only pull and cannot push. Now, if you throw a ball in the air, it will come back, so it's only pulling it. It will not go more up. So, gravitational force cannot push but can only pull. Now let's go on to frictional force. You must have noticed that when you gently roll a ball on the floor, it moves for some distance and then stops. The ball stops due to frictional force. Now, when you roll a ball on the ground, it will stop. After some time, roll it on a smooth surface like ice or a normal plain floor. It will move for a lot of distance. But now try to roll it on a rough space like grass. It will go for a bit of distance and will stop. This force is present between two things in contact with each other. It is also called the force of friction. Friction always works in the opposite direction of motion. Now, when you roll the ball, it is going in this way, but friction goes in this way, which is trying to stop the ball. So, it goes in the opposite direction of motion. Now, friction always works in the opposite direction of motion. Therefore, the moving object either slows down or stops due to friction. To start moving, an object has to act against friction. That is, we have to apply force against friction. The frictional force is more on a rough surface than on smooth surface. Now, friction means to try to stop something. So, if you'll do it on a rough surface like grass, there will be more friction. It will stop more easily. But if you do it on ice there will be less friction and it will be going on and on and on. Work. Do all the forces result into work? Apply force on a wall and try to move it. You will feel exhausted as your energy is consumed, but the wall will not move. So the force is applied but no work is yet done. When the force is applied on an object and it changes its position or state, the work is said to be done. When you pull a chair, pick your books, throw a ball, go to school, you do work. But when you push a big almirah and cannot move it, no work is done. Simple machines. When some work is too difficult to be done with our hands, we use some tools to do it. For example, we use a jack to lift our car while changing a puncture tire of a car. In our everyday life, we use a number of such tools like scissors, forceps, hammers, pliers, and screwdrivers. These tools make our work much easier. These tools are also called simple machines. Now, for example, pliers. If you have to roll or fold a piece of metal, then you use pliers. If we'll do it with our bare hands, our hands will hurt and we may get a cut. If you want to separate the paper in two equal parts, but not very dirtily, not in such a dirty way, and you want it to be smooth, then we use scissors to cut it. We won't use pliers as it will not work and there will be marks and ridges on it, so we use scissors. A simple machine changes the direction of the force applied. Due to this, we have to apply less force and the work is done easily. The simple machines are grouped as lever, pulley, wheel and axle, inclined plane, screw and wedge. So by this we see we have 6 types of simple machines, that are lever, pulley, wheel and axle, inclined plane, screw and wedge. Now eventually we'll come and see what are there. What do they do? Lever. A lever is a simple machine that makes our work easier, as it helps us to move or lift objects with less effort. Many of our basic tools use levers, including scissors, pliers, hammers, claws, nutcrackers and tongs. Pulley. A pulley is a small wheel which has a groove around its edge. A rope or belt moves through this groove and it is used to lift heavy things. For example, a pulley is used to draw water from a well, to hoist a flag, or in window blinds. Now, if you have seen a well and used it, there is a ball or a circle type thing on the top and it has a groove around its edge. In there, a rope is in it and you pull one side and the other side is attached with a bucket. So when you let go of it, it goes inside and gets water, and when you pull it, the bucket comes up and you have water. Wheel and axle. This simple machine consists of a wheel attached to a rod called axle. For example, screwdrivers, bicycle pedals, and steering wheels of a car. Inclined plane. An inclined plane is a slope that is used to move something up or down from one level to another. It reduces the effort required to lift a load. A slide is an example of the inclined plane. A wooden plank is another example that can be seen while loading or unloading goods on trucks. Now, every one of you must have gone to the park, and you have almost and all of you have gone down a slide. So it is a plain area, but it is tilted. So when you go down. And if it would be plain, if you're here, you'll stay here only. But since it's tilted, you go down. So that is an inclined plane. It's a plane but inclined. Screw. A screw is actually an inclined plane which is wrapped around a cylinder. Means it is just an inclined plane but wrapped around with a cylindrical thin rod. If you take a pencil and wrap it around with a strip of paper, you'll get the formation of a screw. Now the bumpy things of the screw are known as ridges, and the empty places, which is mostly like a nail, are called grooves. A screw is actually it is used to hold things together. A screw is turned with a screwdriver. 2 planks of wood can be fixed better with a screw than with nails. Now, when we use screws and when we use nails, if you are building up a stage for a temporary moment, then you will use a nail as it will be easier to take out. But if you'll use a screw, you'll have to spend hours of turning it with a screwdriver. Screws are fixed with screwdrivers, whereas nails are fixed with a hammer. Wedge. Any machine having a sharp edge in front but a blunt edge at the back is a wedge. It is used to split or cut things. An axe, a knife, and nails are some example of a wedge. Now you use a knife to cut fruits and vegetables, and you use an axe to cut down trees, which we should not, but still we do it for our necessity to make paper and medicines and all of those things. Now nail. Nail is blunt at the back and sharp at the bottom. So you can fix things with it, and yeah. Energy. Energy is the ability or capability to do work. All living things need energy to do their daily activities. Different organisms use energy in different forms. Now, for example, take a human, yourself, and a vehicle like a car or a scooter. Then you recharge yourself. When you get tired, you recharge yourself with food. After you eat food, you get energy. But when the fuel gets low in your car, you refill it with petrol. So that is how different organisms use energy in different ways. Energy is required for everything that we do, like breathe, eat, walk, and even sleep. Now take an example. You are hungry at night, so none of us can sleep with hunger. So we need energy to sleep also. Some non-living things also need energy to work, like cars, refrigerators, televisions, torches, etc. Different things need different kinds of energy to work. While doing work, energy is consumed and the source of energy needs to be replaced with once it is used. For instance, we refill petrol in a car when it runs out of petrol. We replace the battery in the torch when it goes weak. Now, all of you have seen the remote in the batteries in your TV remote. So when your remote stops working, when you give the commands, then you have to change the batteries and then it starts working again. Sources of energy. Sun is the ultimate source of energy on the earth. All forms of energy come from the sun, directly or indirectly. Plants absorb the light energy from the sun and produce food for us. Thus, sun's energy is changed into food, which gives all the living beings energy to do work. Now, take plants. Plants use sunlight to make their food. In the process of photosynthesis, when they make their food, they grow, and when they grow, they give us food. And so, sun gives all living beings food and energy to do work. The heat energy provided by the sun runs the water cycle in nature, so blowing of the wind is affected by the sun's heat. Therefore, we can say that wind and hydroelectricity are simply converted from solar energy. Fossil fuels are also formed by the energy of dead plants and animals. Now, after some marine animals have died in the ocean, by old age, they sink down to the bottom, and after thousands of years, they turn into fossil fuels, which we use in the old times train. We use coal. We burned it and it was used to move the train. Forms of energy. Oh, we missed 2 lines. So let's go back. Hot interior of the earth is also an important source of energy which provides geothermal energy. Now let's go on to forms of energy. There are different forms of energy like electrical energy, heat energy, solar energy, etc. One form of energy can be changed into the other form of energy by various means. Solar energy. Sun is the ultimate source of energy. The energy obtained by the sun is called solar energy. It provides us light energy and heat energy. Solar energy can be converted into electrical energy and stored in many forms for future use. For example, the solar cell, also the sun's energy, can be used directly in solar cookers and solar heaters for cooking food and heating water. Nowadays, at some places like parks, solar lights are used. Solar cells used in them convert solar energy into electric energy. These cells are charged in the daytime by the sunlight to glow bulbs in the night. Energy of moving wind and water. Now you all must have heard of windmills and dams. So that is what they do. They convert water energy and wind energy into electricity that we are now using to turn on lights and to turn on the stove and all those things. So now let's go on to heat energy. Heat energy is used to cook food, to warm houses and offices in winter, to iron clothes, etc. This energy can also be obtained by different sources. Apart from solar energy, heat energy is obtained by various energy conservations. For example, in electric irons, geysers and heaters, electricity energy gets converted into heat energy. Burning of fossil fuels like coal and oil also provides heat energy. Now let's go to the last paragraph, electrical energy. Electrical energy is used to run machines like light bulbs, fans, geysers, water pumps, electric irons, ovens, refrigerators, televisions, computers, and rail engines. This energy can be produced from wind and water sources. The use of fossil fuels also produce electricity energy. Electric energy. So now the lesson is over. I hope you enjoyed my video. So bye everyone. I love you and make sure to subscribe to my channel. Bye.